Hey guys, George here for another quick Photoshop edit. Today we're going to do a quick black and white edit. Now this photo, some of you may have seen before. I did a video on the editing of this photo from straight out of camera to what you see here. If you haven't seen that video, I will put a link in the description below and you should definitely go check it out. Once I was done with that photo, I looked at it and I thought it would look really good in black and white. Black and white isn't something I've done regularly over the last few years, and that's mostly down to shooting for a lot of magazines, and you generally don't have black and white photos in magazines very often. So it's not something I did a lot of. However, I started going back through some older photos and looking at things and thinking they would look really good in black and white. And so I've started doing a lot more black and whites just for myself and for the portfolio. And this photo, looking at it, I really like it, but I really think it might look pretty awesome in black and white. So we're going to do a really quick black and white edit on this. And it's going to be what I call a detailed black and white. Now I have a little action that I've done to make this, and I'm a big fan of actions. I make actions to speed up processes and make things a little bit easier for myself. So I've got some of my own black and white actions there, and I know which one I would use on this. But instead of running the action, which you'll probably be able to download or buy in the near future, but instead of running that action, I'm just going to show you what it is, because it's not a very long process, but having the action just makes it pretty instantaneous and gives you the same results every time, and then you can modify them. I always do things non-destructively, and I always do things that can be adjusted. So let's get started with this. So the first thing I'm going to do with this to make it black and white, I'm going to make sure my color swatches are on black and white, so you just do that by hitting D, and I'm just going to add a gradient map over the photo. And you can see this gradient map is rather dark, but it's black and white. It is exactly what we want, and we're going to start from that. So that's going to give us the basis of our black and white conversion. What I'm going to do next is a little bit of a curves adjustment, and we're just going to make a really small and basic S-curve, very small one. We're not going to do a whole lot here. This is just to sort of give it a little bit more contrast. Don't worry, it's not going to be this dark when we're done. This is just my sort of starting point for where I'm going to go. What I am going to do next, though, is create a stamp layer. And we're going to sharpen this up a little bit. And we're going to use Photoshop Smart Sharpen. We're just going to leave it on its default settings because it does a really good job. You're going to see it's going to be a little bit too much. Don't worry about that. We're going to reduce the opacity and everything. So we'll let this sharpen, Smart Sharpen. If we zoom in, so we get this to 100%, you can see it's sharpened. It looks pretty good. I think what we might do is do this one more time. We're going to duplicate that layer by hitting Control J. We're going to go to Sharpen, and we're just going to go to Sharpen More. And it will have done, let's zoom in so you can see, more. It's way too much. So we're going to drop that to, let's say, 15%. Oh, maybe 20. Yeah, that looks good. And if we group the two sharpening layers together, you can see the overall effect of the sharpening that we've done. So that looks pretty good. It's very, very, very dark, though. What I like to do with black and whites, I won't do this on color photos, but with black and whites, this works really well. I'll grab a curves layer, and I'm going to raise up this point all the way in the corner. I'm going to keep it all the way to the left. I'm just going to bring it up, and what that's doing is bringing the shadows back in. And then I'll do the same with the corner over here. Just going to drag that down a little bit, and that's going to make our whites a little bit more gray. And that's pretty much it. I think that looks pretty good. So the before was this, and now we've got this. And I think this photo works really good in a black and white. That was a very quick, very easy way to make black and white photos besides using the default Photoshop black and white or just desaturating. We've given it a little bit more detail and we've controlled the areas that we want to see with detail. So if you like the video, please give it a big fat thumbs up. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do a lot more quick edits. This was a really quick black and white detailed photo and it took a couple minutes. So give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe, and I'll see you later.